Good afternoon. My name is Michael Geisler. As the president of Manhattanville College, it is my pleasure to welcome our honored guests, trustees, faculty, staff, family, friends, alumni, our commencement speaker and honorary degree recipients, and especially the Manhattanville classes of 2020 and 2021. Welcome to this joyous occasion, our 179th and 180th commencement. Please rise and direct your attention to the video screen for our invocation, which will be offered by Joy Pellegrino, Director of the Mary T. Clark Center for Religion and Social Justice and our Catholic chaplain. The invocation will be followed by the singing of the national anthem by Manhattanville's own Quintessentials.
Greetings of peace, President Geisler, Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, graduates, and guests. In Psalm 118, we hear, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad." This long-awaited day is truly a gift to be celebrated. And so we pray, God of all creation, we give thanks for this amazing day, for the many gifts given and the ability to serve you with a sense of purpose. We ask that you bless these graduates for their hope, endurance, and commitment during these challenging times. Gift them with fortitude and strength to be risk takers in the days ahead for the sake of building your earthly reign as global visionaries. Help them to grow in their capacity and understanding that each one of us is created in your image and likeness, and to respect this wondrous mosaic of diversity. Enable them to recognize that authentic human interaction is found and flourishes in communities that embrace diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice for all. Through your abiding presence, we ask that you gift them with patience and the ability to wait on their dreams without anxiety because you continue to walk with them. Gift them with an ongoing desire to serve those who are marginalized, poor, and suffering. Gift them with gratitude for all who have supported them throughout this academic journey. And bless all of us here today, family, faculty, staff, and friends who rejoice in their many accomplishments. Graduates, you are valiants. You have been formed in this tradition. You have the gifts to transform our fractured world. And so I'd like to offer this invitation and challenge to you today. Go forth, be the change you want to see in our world. May God bless you today and always. Amen.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Thank you. Please be seated. Graduates of the Manhattanville classes of 2020 and 2021, this is your hard-earned day of celebration, and we will celebrate. But before we get there, I want all of you to join me in a big thank you to your families and friends who enabled you to be here and make it to this day. Let's give them a well-deserved standing ovation. I would also ask you to help me thank the faculty, the staff, and the administration of Manhattanville College for their untiring support in helping you achieve your goals. Whether they work in admissions or art history, dining or dance, finance or financial aid, chemistry or custodial, history or human resources, psychology or student affairs, career services or the Clark Center, or any of the many other academic and administrative departments. We would also like to thank Manhattanville's Board of Trustees and our loyal Alumni Association for supporting our programs. And now it is our turn, Manhattanville's turn, to thank all of you, students and parents, not only for having made Manhattanville the college of your choice, but for everything you have individually and collectively brought to this institution. Your grit and determination to make it through even when the odds were long, whether it be for health reasons or financial constraints, your concern and care for each other, and your passionate engagement in individual and creative writing, your research projects, the stories of which I have been proud to share with the Board of Trustees, and many of which we have shared with the world on our website. I ask you to keep these stories coming when you graduate, because out of these hundreds and eventually thousands of stories, we will weave a tapestry that will demonstrate to the world the motto adopted from the French merchant Jacques Coeur that gave our athletics teams their name. À cœur vaillant, rien d'impossible. To a valiant heart, nothing is impossible. And you, each and every one of you sitting here today, have certainly shown that to a valiant heart, nothing is impossible. You have overcome tremendous financial and physical odds to be sitting here today, and I salute you for that. I want to talk to you about adversity, the hard things life has an unfortunate habit of throwing at us. I chose adversity because I do not believe I've ever addressed a graduating class or classes who collectively knew better what it meant. The only other Manhattanville class in recent memory that I would imagine might be able to relate to what you have been going through would be the Manhattanville class of 2002, completing their undergraduate studies in a world suddenly darkened and made insecure by the horrible attack on the World Trade Center in 2001. The 16th century English philosopher Francis Bacon, in his essay on adversity, starts out by quoting the Roman philosopher Seneca, who said that the good things which belong to prosperity are to be wished, but the good things that belong to adversity are to be admired. It is with Seneca in mind, then, that I take off my hat to you, to your parents and loved ones. And as president of this college, I am proud to say that I admire you. I am also proud to say, as president of this college, which has seen a greater share of adversity than most other small liberal arts colleges in the past, you are one of us. You are valiant, you have persevered, and like Manhattanville College itself, you have emerged victorious. I implore you to make good use of this fortitude, because underneath the death and fear and anxiety that is COVID-19, there emerged another fear and anxiety. Over the last few years, it has become abundantly clear, to our shame and embarrassment, that not all Americans believe in the very foundation of our democracy, the notion that all humans are created equal. For if you think COVID-19 has been a problem, and it has been, I remind you that there are millions of Americans who have been dealing with far worse than a viral pandemic for centuries. In fact, from the very beginning of our republic, they, blacks and African Americans in particular, but at various times also other minorities, have been living with a virus that did not infect them, but many of the rest of us. It is in the nature of this particularly vicious virus that it has killed and continues to kill, but not the ones it has infected. Instead, this virus attacks the hearts and minds of the millions it has affected, inducing them to disrespect and to harm and kill others, solely for the reason that they do not look like them, or talk like them, or act like them. My generation, like all generations reaching back to the first European settlers who arrived on American soil, has failed to deliver on the promise made in our Constitution. We have failed to produce a vaccine against this virus of the hearts and minds. But there is, at least, a partial cure. Truth. It is time we, all of us will acknowledge in public that Black lives do indeed matter. Over and over and over again, until the reality in our country has changed so dramatically that it will no longer be necessary to say this out loud. Black lives matter. But as you will soon see when you hear our amazing commencement speaker, it does not have to be that way. And as Judge Emily Morales Minerva found her own fortitude to deal with adversity, I would like to charge all of you, whatever the color of your skin or the flavor of your political beliefs, to take the fortitude and strength of character given to you by the experience of having gone through and survived COVID-19 to finally turn this society into one of justice and equality for all Americans. If you collectively succeed where all previous generations of Americans have failed, you will be the new greatest generation. Winning the war against fascism in Europe was indeed an amazing accomplishment for your grandfathers and grandmothers, the previous greatest generation. Winning the war against racism right here in America can be your legacy. I believe that you can do this. As we are in the process of acquiring immunity against COVID-19, your generation's task is to find the vaccine against that other pandemic ravaging America, our history of racism and discrimination. I believe that the fortitude and creativity you have developed in the fight against COVID have uniquely equipped you to bring in a new dawn in America. You can do it because, as you already know, to a valiant heart, nothing is impossible. It is now my pleasure to introduce Ryan Finkel, President of the Student Government Association, to share a few words.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Finkel, and I had the honor of serving as the student body president. I'd like to welcome those watching here today to celebrate both the class of 2020 and 2021. First off, I asked President Geisler for a Zoom background. However, he said no, so we'll have to settle with the castle. Everyone here has experienced a shift in life as we knew it over the past year. From struggling to figure out mute buttons, to the flood of different emotions, to walking around 6 feet apart. Our challenges haven't stopped there, which calls for resiliency of these two classes. Despite the past year, I want to place emphasis on the graduates and what could come by going back to where we started. Life is very similar to a playground. I feel it represents life the best. You learn how to use a swing, go down a slide, hopefully not a metal one in the summer, and make friends along the way. The point is, when you're a child, the playground is where you learn about life. You learn how to overcome fears, how to communicate, how to be creative, how to deal with emotions, and cope with struggles. Today is the first time in our lives we don't have a plan already laid out for us. We went to elementary school, then middle school, and everyone here chose a college education to prepare them for what's to come. So congratulations, you did it. Now life becomes your playground. Don't stop playing, learning, loving, and never give up that creativity and innocence that children have. Just like children, don't be afraid to rely on those around you. Family, friends, mentors. But just like playing on a playground, in life, you have to make your own experiences. Make it your life and your chance to do whatever you see fit, even if that means going to grad school, getting a job, or living at home. Just kidding, Dad. Before I end today, I'd like to leave you all with a few things as you continue on your playground of life. 1, learn about yourself and what makes you, you. 2, leaders are nothing without followers. 3, there are plenty of ways to get into a pool. Stairs are not the only way. 4, to the valiant of heart, nothing is impossible. While we will always carry a piece of the Manhattanville playground with us, I'd like to leave you with a few words by Chadwick Boseman to carry on your journey. He once said, "In times of crisis, the wise build bridges, while the foolish build barriers." The graduates and those here today supporting them should be especially proud of all the accomplishments, despite the circumstances we all face. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. It has been an honor working with you this past year. I would now like to introduce Gabriela Pereira, Senior Class President, to share her remarks.
Good afternoon. Esteemed guests, faculty and staff, graduates, and those of you streaming at home, I welcome you to our beautiful campus. Even behind a screen, the castle is quite captivating. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Gabriela Pereira. I was the senior class president for this last academic year. It has been an honor to have been able to work alongside such incredible individuals in the Student Government Association. After a year and some change of denied normalcy, I am blessed to be able to be here on stage, gathered with all of you, celebrating the 2020 and 2021 classes for their dedication, passions, hard work, and strength. Despite months of adapting to a new world and a new way of living, these graduates have managed to persevere and complete their degrees with their heads held high. Our entire lives up until this point have been consumed in education. For many, your career requires years of learning, studying, drowning, and overcoming. We grow up working towards letters, our BA, MPA, PhD, MD, RN, CPA, and so on and so forth. At the start of our education, we were conditioned to believe that letters defined our knowledge base and our capability to succeed. My parents used to strongly encourage me to get A's, as I'm sure many parents did. In so many ways, we were held to expectations that often blinded us and made us question who we were and what mattered most to us. I decided in this last year that my life would be more than just aiming for letters. When I look back on my life as a whole, I want to know that I stayed true to myself. I want to study to understand, not study to remember. After reflecting on countless experiences throughout my life, I kept coming back to this time that I was in Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, there's this saying, pura vida. A native woman explained that living a pure life meant different things to different people. For some, it's about living life in search of goodness and continuously being happy. For others, it simply means we must surround ourselves with pure things, whether it be people, places, or moments that feed our soul. So maybe it isn't too cliche to say that we should enjoy the little things. One day, we may look back and realize they were the big things. Soon enough, our college experiences will become a vast memory. We will refer to our time here at Manhattanville as the good old days. We may even wish to relive moments of these last 4 years. So as you step into the world on a new path, whatever that may be, here are a few things to keep in mind that I realized in this last year. There was a time when we couldn't wait to grow up. The most pain we felt was when we scraped our knees on the concrete and saying goodbye only meant until tomorrow. Hold moments, places, and people close. Treat today like it'll be a good old day, and hold on to how your experiences make you feel. When all odds are against you, keep fighting. As I learned in many of Professor Williford's classes, your voice is a powerful weapon, especially when that weapon can be used to help others who may not have the privilege of using it openly with no repercussions. So be an agent of change. Dá sempre a melhor de ti para ti. Always give the best of you for you. Lastly, una pura vida, a pure life. Live it well and in good spirit. Find your source of happiness and never let it go. Do as you wish with the words that I have spoken, as I am just the messenger. Congratulations to the classes of 2020 and 2021. The world is not ready for us. Hey, Ma, look, I made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriela. It is now my privilege to introduce our honorary degree recipient and commencement speaker, the Honorable Emily Morales Minerva, class of 1998. Judge Morales Minerva returned to the castle and campus she called home last week to record a very special commencement address, which she so wished she could give in person, and accepted an honorary degree. I ask that you again direct your attention to the screen to see her being awarded the honorary degree and give her address to the class of 2020 and 2021.
The Honorable Emily Morales Minerva has distinguished herself as a jurist, a community advocate, and a dedicated public servant to the people of the city of New York. As the proud daughter of immigrants from the Dominican Republic, Judge Morales Minerva learned from an early age the fortifying lessons of both individual perseverance and communal responsibility as she worked alongside her family in her parents' Brooklyn store. She grew up attending underserved public schools and witnessed firsthand the unforgiving realities of poverty and violence. As a student at Manhattanville College, Judge Morales Minerva was inspired by the mentorship of caring faculty as she pursued studies in political science, world religions, and African studies with an unwavering focus. In 1998, she graduated summa cum laude with a bachelor's degree and went on to attend Cornell Law School, where she earned her Juris Doctor in 2001. Throughout her career, Judge Morales Minerva has consistently chosen paths that allowed her to give back to her community through advocacy and service. Prior to her election to the bench, she worked as an attorney in New York City, taking on roles that advanced justice for the underserved and marginalized, including serving as special counsel for access to justice initiatives in the New York City Civil Court housing part. As a person of Latin descent herself, she was proud to serve as principal law clerk to the first senior associate judge of Latin descent of the New York State Court of Appeals. In 2016, Judge Morales Minerva was elected to serve as a judge in civil court in New York City and assigned to the Bronx Family Court in 2017, where she has presided over custody, visitation, and family offense proceedings. In her position, Judge Morales Minerva works tirelessly to help families that seek justice and healing in her courtroom. Acting by virtue of the authority vested in us by the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York and by the Manhattanville College Board of Trustees, and in recognition of Judge Emily Morales Minerva's contributions to the legal field and to the communities she has served, Manhattanville College is proud to bestow upon her the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, together with all the rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Thank you, President Michael Gessler, and thank you, Lauren McDermott Chiradullo. I hope I said that correctly. The Special Assistant to the President, and thank you to all faculty, the staff, and the administration of Manhattanville College. In that regard, I want to especially thank Professor James E. Jones, who I call with deep admiration and love, Papa Jones, for everything he's done for me. He was my rock while I was here at Manhattanville College. I would also like to thank Professor Ms. Yagano, because she was also someone that gave me much guidance in my time here. I would be remiss also if I didn't thank my mom, Venancia Argentina Morales, I have to say that, and my sisters, and my dear husband, Domenico Minerva, who supports everything that I do. He got me here today, and without him, nothing in my life would be possible. He is my current rock and forever rock. To you, graduates, family, and friends, thank you for giving us all this wonderful opportunity to celebrate. Congratulations, class of 2020 and 2021. I have never known a more fitting group of people to be called Manhattanville-Valiants. You are the definition of the stout-hearted and courageous. And as a generation, you are deeply, deeply inspirational. You have successfully endured the coronavirus pandemic. You have had to shift your expectations, your plans, and experiences constantly in both your academic and personal lives. The New York Times recently quoted a college student, just like you, who said, "To be with my classmates, to walk across the stage, to receive the diploma that we all work so hard for, it means absolutely everything." My heart contracted as if being squeezed when hearing this young person express the significance of today. Everyone here has surely dreamt of this moment growing up or later in life. You and yours have a right to feel all types of understandably conflicting emotions. Happy, angry, sad, unsure, anxious, and all of these things at once. Still, despite your unique struggle, you, college graduates, carried out with courage and determination everything required of you to earn your degree. If you had a day or days when you felt badly or overwhelmed, you got up and did the work anyway. What parent or caretaker, I'm looking around as if I could see them, can be prouder in this moment? You managed the unexpected events. You bounced back after encountering stress, and you kept focus under the pressure. Congratulations. You are quite impressive and inspiring. I wish I could see your faces at this moment, and that I could sense the energy around you, because I want to be sure that you are surrounded by figurative and literal applause. In the Caribbean, it might sound funny to you, but we say clap yourself, meaning acknowledge this moment, acknowledge yourself. You are a 2020 and 2021 graduate, college graduate, class of 2020, 2021. Reflect on that for a moment. Reflect on what it means and don't forget it, because it says something big about who you are as a person. In completing this goal during these challenging times where nothing feels predictable, you have cooked up all the ingredients for developing a strong sense of self-efficacy. In your mastery of these circumstances, you have acquired powerful evidence of your ability. You might think, my ability to what? To overcome. Surely you have proven to yourself and to others that to you, Manhattanville graduate, difficulty, fear, and perhaps even failures do not mean defeat. If all else has been uncertain, hold on to that certainty. So let it create within you a strong sense of self-belief that transcends the circumstances and opportunities and tasks that you will encounter in the future. In my experience, self-efficacy, what you have shown in your college journey, is where it all begins and where it all ends. When you know that you have what it takes to get through challenges like the ones you face collectively and individually in obtaining your college degree, you know that you can set future goals and commit to the ones you make. You know that you can handle problems and manage unexpected events. You know, among other things, what you personally need to do to manage the thoughts and emotions that come with real life. Embrace that. You each remind me, and you might laugh at this, but you each remind me of a story about fruit that I read in a food magazine years ago. I know it sounds funny, but bear with me. The article discussed the nutritional value of fruit that grew under optimal conditions, in comparison to fruit that grew despite the challenges of nature. The lab-grown fruit was shiny and vibrant, and just the type of fruit that people generally go to in the supermarket. Then there was the fruit that grew without extra external help. These fruits had times where there was a lack of sun, where there was insufficient rain, and when there were insects and other predators. These grew small and misshapen, and they're the kind of fruit that some might overlook in the grocery store. When scientists compared the fruits for purposes of determining their actual value, the fruits that grew under tremendous stress were denser in nutrition. Why? Because in the struggle to make it through the cycle of life, these fruits developed a greater depth and breadth of antioxidants and minerals. And here comes the part that might make more sense to you, right? That your character, although not your appearance, of course, is similar. As you have been put through the test of a lifetime with this pandemic and thrived, Not survived, but thrived. You have developed the substance for life and growth. That's big. So in closing, if I can get my next page here. In closing, I want to share some words from the great Maya Angelou, whom I deeply respect, an American poet, memorist, and civil rights activist. A diamond, one of the most precious elements in this planet, certainly one, in many ways, the hardest, is the result of extreme pressure and time. Under less pressure, it's crystal. Less pressure than that, it's coal. Less than that, its fossilized leaves are just plain dirt. You must encounter life, confront life. It is for you to increase your virtues. There is that in the human spirit that shall not be gunned down, even by death. There is no person here who is over 1 year old who hasn't slept with fear or pain or loss or grief or terror. And yet we all have risen, have made whatever absolutions we were able to or chose to. We dressed and said to other human beings, "Good morning, how are you?" "Fine, thanks." Therein lies our chance toward nobleness. Not nobility, nobleness. The best of a human being is in that ability to overcome. And you got it. Congratulations.
We thank Judge Emily Morales Minerva for her inspiring message and congratulate her on her honorary degree. And now, undergraduates of the class of 2020 and 2021, we have reached the moment for which you have all worked so hard. I call upon Provost Christine Deney and Interim Dean for the School of Arts and Sciences, Rebecca Lafleur, to present the 2020 and 2021 Manhattanville College candidates for degrees. Will the candidates for 2020 and 2021 degrees present themselves at this time and come forward?
President Geisler, I have the honor to present these candidates for degrees and to certify on behalf of the faculty that they have fulfilled the requirements set by the college for them.
Acting by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York and by the Manhattanville College Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, and admit you with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Candidates, please move across the platform as your name is read.
Gabriela Pereira, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2021. Emma Iredale, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Juan Camilo Huertas, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Giovanna Gambardella, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2021. Caleb Martin Berger, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Jack Andrew Battaglia, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Charles David Doherty, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Alex J. Fleischman, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Anthony Caputo, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Xavier Alejandro Mosquera, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Corey Michael McKenna, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Quincy Alban Primus, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Susanna Dell Butterfield, Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Fine Arts, magna cum laude, 2021. Rebecca Faith Miller, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2021. Mary Regina Johnson, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Dahlia Peralta, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Jillian Rose Donnellan, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2020. Lisa Michelle Satardi, Bachelor of Science, 2020. Victoria Isabel Navarro, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Jenna Lee Stamps, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, 2020. What is it? Samantha Grace Civilella, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Thank you. Carmen Sales Rizzo, Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, 2020. Okay. Carissa Corinne Campbell, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. John Paul DeBarros Amaro, Bachelor of Fine Arts, cum laude, 2021. Jessica Marielle Ramon, Bachelor of Fine Arts, 2021. Brianna Paige Edson, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Peter Rapeco, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Romy Herrera Garcia, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Shannon Asenza, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, 2020. Maya Holmgren, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Antonia Marchesi, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2021. Catherine Susan DeRosa, Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, 2021. Jessica Elizabeth Gordon, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, 2021. Nicole Taylor Quinones, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Deshawn Cirinala, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Oscar Mayada Escobar, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Papa Mamadou Diop, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Stephen Kotage, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Christopher Joseph Collins, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Lindsay Marie Mayotte, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Alyssa Halpin, Bachelor of Science, summa cum laude, 2021. John Anthony Calicchia, Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, 2020. Anastasia Rose Romanowski, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. We'll go slowly. Ariana Marie Muccio, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Naya Antrice Walker Moffett, Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, 2021. Rachel Michelle Maledo, Bachelor of Science, summa cum laude, 2021. Samantha Alize Tyner, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Alize? Ixamari Uben. Manuel de Jesus Alvarez, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Sarah Marie Kutu, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Eric Ogando, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Daniel W. Modad, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Brianna Angela Maselli, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Juan Enrique Adrover, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Emilio Jose Rivas Martinez, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2020. Luis Maragai Cambra, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Benigno Menendez Apatia, Bachelor of Science, 2020. Claudia Cazorla Jimenez, Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, 2020. Leticia Andrea Cortez Ortiz, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, 2021. Savairi De Leon, Bachelor of Science, 2020. Sierra Rose Schultes, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Muriel Andrea Escoto Golibart, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Leah Andrea Garcia Barrido, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Alpha Diallo, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Marcos Franco Guerrero Melo, Bachelor of Science, cum laude, 2021. Alfonso Pimentel Hernandez, Bachelor of Science, 2020. coming up. Here we go. Kaiki Martins Bruskargan, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Let's wait a little bit. Juan Carlos Hazim Sued, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Cindy Janina Soto, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Kayla Rochelle Price, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2020.
Taylor G. Jones, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Angie Jetche, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Melinda Jambalai, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Khalid Abrahim, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Brian Gavilan, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Kelsey Laura, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Laurabelle Castillo, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Andrew James Fusco, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Alexander Lopez Martinez, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Maxwell Martins, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Rosario de Bellis, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Sarah Rose Smith, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Lauren Christine Fusca, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Vianney Azucena Aparicio, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Alyssa Mary Solozo, Bachelor of Fine Arts, 2020. Gabriela Valencia, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Rebecca Valdovinos, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Carice Cordelia Koch, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Elizabeth Christine Harris, Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, 2021. Erica Marie Hassett, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, 2020. Your last one? Julia Mary Scatinato, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Coral Aurora Gomez, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2021. Janae Ruthia Fells, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Brandon Piers Covertier, Bachelor of Science, 2020. Elizabeth Ann DiGiorgio, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2020. Corey Jennifer Minkoff, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Mariana Lopez Gonzalez, Bachelor of Science, 2020. Arlene Isabella Leonardo, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Ariana Josephine Datillo, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Molly Gallagher, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2021. Reed David Colfer Haber, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Good, how are you? Bosheen. Joshua Bosheen, Bachelor of Science, 2020. Kevin Gale, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Thomas Michael Hopkins, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Lucas Moreno de la Porta, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2020. Shane Patrick Kimball, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Michael Austin Rothman, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Deanna Tusillo, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Amanda Michelle Polina, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Lizbeth Rosaria Mieses, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Brazal Hidalgo, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Mallory Christine Rodriguez, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Isela Casillas, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Jasmine Alexis Feliciano, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Brooke Elizabeth Franson, Bachelor of Science, cum laude, 2021. Melina Angela Strano, Bachelor of Science, cum laude, 2020. Dominique M. Ferrara, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2020. Rachel Elaine Abrahamson, Bachelor of Music, magna cum laude, 2021. Oliver G. Nicholson, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Matthew Eric Jones, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2020. Okay, Chris Siglali Castillo, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Elena Nasnovich, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Maisie Kettlewood, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Alexis Julianne Kreitz, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Nikki Solari, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Ashley Marie DeFusco, Bachelor of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Science, 2021. Elizabeth Ortiz, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Caritza Santos, Bachelor of Science, 2021. Madison Brooks Sakin, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, 2021. Brianna Maria Talent, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Haley Ann Pava, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Emily Dawn Stout, Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, 2021. Matthew Zivian, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Benjamin Ian Kurtz, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Lena Quello, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Catherine Holly Kervick, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Lizandra Froku, Bachelor of Arts, 2021. Biani Lara, Bachelor of Science, 2020. Jillian Michelle Canada, Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, 2021. Banisha Mukherjee, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Stephen David Roll, Bachelor of Arts, 2020. Ava Isabella Lantere, Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 2021.
Graduates, you may now move your tassel on your cap from right to left to signify the successful completion of your undergraduate studies. None of us accomplishes anything of merit on our own. I would like to ask all our graduates to please stand and turn and face your guests to say thank you with another spirited round of applause for their support. Congratulations, classes of 2020 and 2021. Please be seated. It is with pleasure and great pride that I now reintroduce the quintessentials. Please direct your attention back to the screen as they perform our school's alma mater with a second stanza and arrangement by Professor Carmelo Comberiati. If you would like to join us, the words can be found on the inside back cover of your program.
On the heights so proudly standing, strong against the blue, high towers gleam commanding, loyal hearts be true. For Manhattan will sing proudly, swell the mighty song, till the echoes ring out loudly, all the ages long. From the castle on the hilltop, up above the crowd, we hear tradition calling, valiant hearts are proud. For Manhattan will sing proudly, swell the mighty song, till the echoes ring out loudly, all the ages long.
Congratulations again to our graduates. As you leave today, please remember that you have been admitted to the ranks of Manhattanville alumni and alumni with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. We know you will enjoy the privileges, and we hope there will be many. And you have the right not only to wear your degree with pride, but to always return to campus as Manhattanville family. And you have the right to the support of our alumni office in maintaining the close relationships you have built over the years. Finally, and most importantly, remember to share your stories with us. Let us know when you have landed that fascinating new job, when you have your first personal exhibit in a gallery, sorry, when you have clinched that financial deal, or when you have earned public honors and acclaim. We want to help you broadcast your professional accomplishments because your accomplishments are Manhattanville's accomplishments, just as Manhattanville's accomplishments are also your accomplishments. And as you know, to a valiant heart, nothing is impossible. This officially concludes our 179th and 180th commencement ceremony. Please remain in your seats as the graduates process out. Feel free to take advantage of our beautiful campus to take photos with friends and guests, but remember to remain masked except for a quick photo. You will have an hour to enjoy this beautiful weather, while it is beautiful, before you need to leave campus. Thank you, congratulations again, and Godspeed.